Okay, I'm gonna try and make this quick because I haven't been feeling too chipper the last couple of days. The challenge is nothing really to report on the reward challenge, except of course because with COVID issues, there's not even a single mention of loved ones. So that's the first time since Ko-Ron that this happened. Because Samoa, now we actually have a reason as to why there wasn't any loved one visit on Samoa. Ko-Ron, on the other hand, we have nothing. That's interesting. Although I don't totally blame Deshaun. The immunity challenge, I was kind of for Ricard winning, but only when we got to the point where we could tell that he was doing pretty well at the challenge. Yeah, it looked like Deshaun and Erica were making good progress with the puzzle, but keep in mind that was just them assembling it in a way that everything had four-letter words on it, because Ricard, you know how he had that upside down U in one of his bits, where Erica and Deshaun, they had more mistakes than that when we saw it, because Jeff was trying to make it seem like Erica had something going, but we saw her puzzle at the end, even though it seemed to be completely assembled, she wasn't even close. I mean, like, the edit didn't make him seem like he was in as much danger as compared to last time, but I just figured it would be a little more interesting to see him win, because originally last time, Deshaun was the main person in danger, so that actually more restored the status quo than you would think. And yes, there's the argument of, we should have taken him out and we did it, but this doesn't feel like Fabio. It really doesn't. Oh yeah, definitely. If Ricard makes it, he's probably going to win the game against virtually every combination, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that easy. Could be wrong. Right. Um, then as for Danny going through the island and then finding something that was either a hidden immunity idol or an advantage, I have a tough time believing that they're going to introduce a new advantage this late into it. My thinking is that it's more likely to be a new hidden immunity idol, but again, given how they said it was a freeway hidden immunity idol, does that mean that all three bits need to be found in order for one to be active? But then again, you probably wouldn't re-hide it if that was the case, or you need all three to be found, and then it's three different idols. It's kind of confusing, and since Dalton Ross doesn't do Q&As with Jeff Probst anymore, or at least not what I could find, that's a question that really needs answering. But of course, you might be thinking, if it is an idol, well, why didn't they hide it when the seer was voted out? Well, simple. When they mainly had two tribes, the general rule seemed to be, because there's two idols in the game, we don't rehide one until they've both been played, and then we only rehide one. Yes, Caramone had that issue, and I still haven't forgiven the producers for that, but a decent amount of the seasons where there's free tribes and free hidden immunity idols seem to follow that same rule, where there's free idols, we need two of them to be played, and then we'll put in another one. But I'll admit that rule hasn't been held in place nearly as much as the other one that I just mentioned, and then there's so many seasons where they start off at free tribes, will expand to free, but then also you don't find a hidden immunity idol. It's just insane trying to follow it. What they did in Island of the Idols and Edge of Extinction with hidden immunity idols didn't help either. What? Right. But it would have definitely been interesting to see what it was, but of course we're never going to be able to find that out because more important things get asked to Jeff and company, right? Although, of course, as I said, Jeff doesn't do the Q&As anymore, which is stupid. Come on, dude. We're making a 9-year tradition, because I think that you started doing stopped doing actual blogs yourself after Nicaragua. Could be wrong. Yeah. Anyway. So going into Tribal Council, I really couldn't tell who was more likely to go because, as I said, when Xander and Erica kept saying about the benefits to getting one over the other, it just didn't really make that much sense. But after I saw it being a tie, I'm like, you're going to get rid of Deshawn, I think, but then they ended up getting rid of Danny. But it is possible that the contestants read into the jury a little bit more because Evie, I think, mentioned that she didn't want to see Danny leave. So who knows? Maybe he had a better chance than we thought. But anyone that knows Survivor edits could tell that this guy really wasn't going to win the game. So, yeah. He left, and it's a little bit of a bummer to see him go, but that's only because I don't feel like he got the greatest amount of moments to shine. But then again, though, given how we've had so many characters this season, it kind of makes sense. It's the same thing with Erica. There's potential in her, but we haven't really seen it. Which is a bummer because since Heather has no chance of winning this, Erica's the only woman that even has a chance, but she's going to be totally outclassed by Ricard if he gets there. And then if Xander or Deshawn is next to her, which... Actually, wait a minute. One of those three by default has to get there by now because there's no way there's going to be a final two despite Jeff's... Oh, no, because in All Stars... Never mind. His remarks are not contradictory. His remarks are not contradictory to what he said in All Stars after Rupert was voted out. I retract that statement. But still, it's a little bit of a bummer because I would like to see another woman win this game. Especially since how I wasn't so excited when Sarah won the game back in the day. Not that I have ever disliked Sarah, just... I guess I was focused on too many other things other than her when I was watching Game Changers, so that's unfortunate. And then them going to a new island, which is probably just one of the other tribes' camps, or the island that they used for Edge of Extinction, even though it stands to reason that one of the tribes was already on that island. Whatever, right? It's just a part of the new era of the show. What? Because they did this in Top Shot All-Stars, and it didn't really matter that much. It's just throwing an exciting line at the end of an episode. Alright, now to talk about the remaining top 5. Ricard, I think I've actually already said everything I can about him. He's got the best shot if he makes it, but it's going to be tough for him to make it, because even if he doesn't win immunity in Final 4, without question, he's on the fire-making tiebreaker. Erica, again, just about said all I can about her. There's potential with her, but she hasn't had that many greatest moments to shine, and just, it's a little bit unfortunate, I feel. But I would like to see her make it to the end, but who knows, she might not. I think she'll make top 4, guaranteed, but we'll see about what happens in that top 4, because she's either going to have to be winning immunity or participating in that Firemaker. Because Heather, she's got a 0% chance of winning this game, but she's practically guaranteed to make it to the end, because if she doesn't get voted out in the final 5, we know that she is not going to win that immunity challenge. No way. So, whoever does win the challenge, there's no way they're going to put Heather in a fire-making tiebreaker, because, granted, we haven't really heard anything about Heather's ability to make fire, but her edit totally screams the idea that she sucks at it, so, nothing against Heather, but you know, she's the ultimate take to the end person. She's got nothing left at this point. Deshawn, given how they decided to vote on Danny instead of him, I'm a little unsure of what's going to be happening with him, because, you would think that people would be viewing him as a big threat, but I really don't know at this point. I mean, like, if Ricard's next to him, Ricard will beat him, and he's going to beat Heather, obviously, but Xander and Erica, like, if it was those three at the end, that would be a kind of an interesting final three, because it would stand to reason that Deshawn, being the most strategic player and the most smooth out of those three, would have the best shot, but there's just enough doubt in my mind. I really want to see what's going on with him. I think he's still public enemy number one, but at the same time, you know, with what's going on with Card, yeah. And then there's Xander. Oh, man. How is this guy still in the game? And, like, has he even had his name written down yet? He might have at one of the first two tribals at the merge, but that's it. So if it isn't one of those tribals, then what the heck, right? Especially he says he still has an idol, so he's guaranteed top 4, but I'm actually thinking at this point there's a huge likelihood that he's not going to use it, and that would be hilarious if he doesn't. Oh man, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to this guy in the finale, because I have no idea other than the fact that he should be in the top 4, and he'd have a decent shot at the fire-making tiebreaker, so I can't predict what's going to happen to this guy. I can't. And no, I'm not going to do a pick as to who's probably going to win. It's just that Ricard is most likely going to win if he makes it. That's really all I can say on the subject, and that Heather will not win. See ya.